This trader turned $280 into nearly $500,000 in 6 months, completing the ultimate small account challenge. His results were so impressive that he broke the United States Investing Championship records. He was literally removed from first place in the competition after achieving a return of investment of 178,000%. But all of his results are verified on Kinfo, and he's going to walk us through his live recordings to explain how he did it. And he won't stop there, because he's exposing the US Investing Championship and its founder.
Removing me is the easiest way for him to continue his business.
Welcome to Undiscovered Traders, where we unveil the upcoming 7-figure traders. Today we're actually with trader YC from Hong Kong, who has completed something extraordinary, a verified small account challenge starting with $280. Yes, $280, and he's grown it into almost $500,000, and that is in verified profits. YC also recently took part in the United States Investing Championship, where he turned an ROI of a trading account. He grew it by 1,967%. I'm going to let trader YC talk us through a PowerPoint he's prepared, which is going to be full of his performance, his month-by-month growth, some tips and tricks, and an insight into the truth about the United States Investing Championship. But first of all, YC, how are you?
Hi, Steven. Thanks for having me today. How are you?
I'm very good. So look, I think everyone's going to be wanting to know your knowledge of how to grow a $280 account into $500,000. You've achieved the dream that a lot of people want to achieve. So I'm gonna let you just go into it. Start when you're ready.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here. So these are the topic that I'm going to talk about today. So to start with my trading profit, I am at 7 figures all time right now, and I have posted 2 small account challenge publicly. And the first was in 2020. I turned 1,000 to 50,000 in 2 months. And the second time is this year. I turned $280 to $500,000 in 5 months. So I will share a bit of my story. Back in university, I randomly came across day trading on the internet, and I thought the lifestyle was so cool. I started getting interested and watch a lot of YouTube videos about day trading. So in the beginning, in 2017, I was just trying things out on and off by myself because I was still in school, and I was using my own saving, and I actually lost around total of 15,000, which was painful but part of the process at that time. After a lot of practice and adjusting, then I finally become stable and profitable in around 2018. So back in the trading results, I'm at 7 figures right now, but not everyone feels comfortable share everything publicly. So my small account challenge is what I usually choose to show that I'm profitable to the public. In terms of my trading style, when I first started, I focus only in US stock, 1-minute chart, and long bias. And I use candlestick pattern, level 2, hotkeys, and indicators. After I became more stable and understand the markets better, I slowly add short setup and some longer holding trade into my trading style. And right now, around 60 to 70% of my trades are on the long side, and the rest are shorts. And it also depends on the market condition. For holding times, most of my longs are under 5 minutes. On the short side, they are usually less than an hour. I also use very tight stop loss. I don't like holding losing trades. If a trade doesn't move in the direction I expect, I get out quickly. So that's pretty much my trading style.
How did you choose long or short other than both?
I actually start with long bias. So most of my trades in my early years are long bias, and I only add in more short, maybe recent 3 to 4 years.
And what types of trades are you taking long? Is it kind of hot sector, momentum?
Yeah, for my long, it's usually momentum, like breakout, and more high volume and high volatility stock. So I'm usually doing a in a very short time frame. So I'm using 1 minute chart.
Like whatever's got volume, whatever's hot, is it generally more small cap than large cap?
Yeah, usually small cap because the float is lower, so usually their volatility is much higher.
Beautiful. And just one more question. How do you identify a good setup, a good long setup?
Those will be based on my strategy and some of the candlestick pattern that's showing on the chart. And when I try to enter the trade, I will look at the level 2.
Perfect. We'll see some examples, so I'll let you continue.
So now I'm going to talk about my small account challenge. In May, I happened to open a trading account with a new broker. I only put in a small amount of money, like about 2,000, to test out the execution speed and the short OK. So during that period when I was still trying things out, so I lost some money and the account dropped to under $300. Then I suddenly have an idea. I decided to turn the remaining $280 into a new small account challenge. I want to prove myself again and also respond to the stereotype online that you need a lot of money to make a profit. But starting with only $280 is pretty tight. There's almost no room for the mistake at the beginning. So, but to speed it up, I used some leverage in the early stage, which also meant I could only trade setup that I am very confident about, because one bad day can end the entire challenge. For the broker, I use a broker that doesn't have a PDT rules and there's a 6-time leverage. It is very common for day trader to use leverage, but I only use some of it when my account was still small. Some people say that leverage is very dangerous, but if you truly understand how to use it, it is just a tool to help you reach your goal faster. And as the account grows, I do not need to use it anymore because I don't need to be in a full-size position all the time. So now I will show a short clip of the first day of the challenge. You can see that it's May 28th and it's around 7 a.m. And this the stock that I'm trading is PRO. And this is the chart. This is the level 2 time and sales. And these are the trades. So in this trade, I'm trying to enter a deep buy in the reward area. So I just got in with 200 shares. The number is not that excited because the account is still pretty small. The account is just at around $280 at that day. So I bought in 200 shares at around 1.45. And I'm looking for it to break the high of the day. So I can see that the reversal happened, so I added more. I'm now putting 400 shares. And right now it's 500. And I want to see it to break the high of the day around 1.8.
Is there any reason you end this stock? Is there any like outside reason other than the price action?
There is a breaking news on the stock. Usually, if they start to gapping up in pre-market, usually they have a breaking news, and I usually trade those stock.
Yeah, so it's like the first pullback on breaking news.
Yeah. And I will just wait for it to break around 1.8. And I usually will sell it into the strength. So it actually broke 1.8 and it squeezed to 1.9. And I took profit at 1.9. And I did a quick scalp for 100 shares on the next candle. So I made around $160 on that trade. So you can see the daily P&L right now is 272. So I almost doubled the account, double my 280 small account. So
Beautiful.
because there is a leverage, on the next day, my buying power will also double. So I can take a much bigger size the next day. So this is how a small account with leverage can grow pretty fast.
Beautiful. Does the daily matter much for you? Does the
Sorry?
do you take into account the daily chart much, or if it's got volume and it's running and it's got news, that's what matters?
I usually look at the daily chart and 1 minute chart. I try to find resistance and support in the daily chart, and I usually draw it out on the charts so I can look at it when I'm trading.
Nice.
But I don't trade on daily chart. I just use it for looking at resistance and support. So in about 2 weeks, I had already turned the account to $20,000. That was when I took this account and enter the United States Investing Championship, which I'm going to talk about later. As the account grows, I was gradually adding size, so the account actually reached 200,000 by the end of July. And here is the pullback. So August was pretty slow for me. There was not much going on in the small cap market, which is pretty normal in the summer. So maybe I should have taken a break. And so by the end of August, my balance was 164,000. And you can see this is my monthly P&L. And in September, we can see there is a very big upswing in my P&L because the day trading market heats up again. There is this stock called OCTO, actually went up 6,000% in a single day. I only caught a small part of it and made around $18,000 on that stock because the market has been cold at that time and I had low expectation going into that day. But then I was well prepared the next day, knowing the market would definitely heat up after that stock. So I made 50,000 the next day trading CWD and a few others ticker. And CWD actually went up 2,500% in pre-market with huge volume. And the next day we had WLDS going up 1,000%. And as a day trader, we hunt for volatility and volume. And that's exactly what we want to see. So I end up making $240,000 in a month. I got some more clips to share with you as well.
Incredible. Can I just ask, like most traders don't know when to slow down and when to speed up in the markets. How do you know? How do you know?
Sometimes it actually takes time. So in August, I did really bad on the first day. And so going into the next week, I did bad again on Monday. So I actually kind of feel that, oh, this month is kind of slow. So I actually take a smaller size and be more careful about what trade I take. So for the whole month, I have been more, try to be more careful. So I didn't lose in some big trade. And for September, because there is a holiday on Monday, so it is still very slow. But on September 8th, because I saw the stock OCTO went up 6,000%, and I got that the next day people are gonna be very FOMO of what they missed yesterday. So I know that the market's gonna heat up. So in pre-market, I try to be more aggressive and take some larger size and be more aggressive. So right here is a trade in September when the market heats up again. And I'm trading this stock called YOUL. And let's take a look. So this stock is squeezing higher, but I don't want to take a trade at the top. I don't want to risking buying at the top and it suddenly drop a lot. So I'm waiting for a pullback. So right here, I saw a pullback and I got in for 6,000 shares. You can see my size is bigger than my last trade because the account has grown bigger. So right here, I'm looking for it to break 4 and squeeze higher. And because I know the market is really hot and the momentum is trending up on this stock, after breaking 4, I will still look for more. So I just saw a big order in level 2 in the bid. So I think there is a support downstairs. And I know that some short seller may short in like this candle. And you can see the volume is spiking up. So the short seller will get squeezed out at this time. And at this time, I tried to add more, but I didn't get to fill the whole position. So I tried to bought in another 2,000 shares at 4.41, but it only do a partial fill. And it breaks out again, and I sold my whole position at around 4.6, which makes about $5,000 on this trade.
It's beautiful, but I'm just curious. If a beginner trader tried to do that, they would definitely lose, and they would be chasing. So
Yeah, you think they will buy at the top of this candle?
No, but you're buying a stock that's went from 2 to 3, and you're buying it at 3 and taking it to 4. So if I saw a beginner do this and I didn't know the chart, I would say the beginner is chasing. So how are you not chasing, and how is this an A++ setup?
On the first candle is kind of extended. The price action is kind of extended. I wouldn't buy right. I wouldn't buy it right here because in a 1-minute chart, this is kind of extended. And if you bought it right here, it's considered a top for me at that moment. So I'm looking for a pullback, at least a small pullback, so I can get in a spot that have a lower risk. So I wait for another candlestick to appear, and I wait for a pullback. So I got in at a lower risk price. So maybe ideally I can dip buy until it reach 3.5. But because the momentum is really hot on that day, I just got in a bit early.
Yeah, because
So you can see it almost pull back to 3.5. But because the momentum is still there, and I know that on this day, the market going to be hot, because the day before this day is where there is a stock go up 6,000%. So my guess is that on this day, whatever local stock that has a good catalyst, good news, good breaking news, they might spike up a lot. And because some short seller, maybe they shorted in the previous candle, when the price actually go up that much with high volume, it will squeeze out some short seller. So I'm looking for more after it breaks 4.
yeah, so because 99% of the time you can't do this, but you can do it if there's a 6,000% runner the day before. So it's really time specific.
Not only that day, but because September, the whole month is really hot, there more opportunity. So I did very well in September.
Beautiful.
Right here is another clip on CWD. You can see the previous candle have a rejection, but as it is, the momentum is still very upside, I would say. So I'm actually looking for a dip buy instead of thinking it will drop again. So I actually bought in 2,000 shares at around 12.5, and I want to see a reversal. And we can see that the price action is showing it's likely gonna be a reversal after I bought in. So I'm pretty confident about this trade, so I will add more on the way up. You can see I just added another 1,000 shares at this area, and it went up to 14. And the new candle came up, and I want to add another 1,000 shares right here, before it breaking the high of the day price level. So after I bought in the 1,000 shares, it break out, and I tried to sold all of them at 15, but I only got a partial fill, so I immediately got out at 14.7, and this trade makes around $6,000. And right here, I am looking for a trade that's actually on the short side. So I'm looking for shorting this EMSC after it breaks 2. So right here, it breaks 2, and I am in a short right now for 6,500 shares at around 2. And now it's 7,500. And the profit taking area, I am aiming for around this area, around 1.7. And on this kind of trade, I sometimes took profit on the way down. I might take some partial profit on the way down. We need to look at the right side right now because I switched to another ticker on the left side. Right side is the one that I'm trading. So I take around a partial profit around 1.83 for 2,000 shares, and I'm still holding around 5,000 shares. And I want to see it drop to around this 1.7 area.
So what would you say is the main difference between the long trades you've shown me and this short trade now? What's the main difference?
I would say they are actually kind of similar once you get the price action and you know that when it's long buyer taking their profit and doing their entries. And once you understand how short seller they got in their entry and you know their stop loss, I think they are actually very similar in price action. But for some of the short side position, I usually might hold it longer than my long position because sometimes the momentum is not that fast. For this trade, it's pretty fast, but sometimes you need to wait around half an hour for it to drop to the profit area that you will like. And it also take me some time to learn both of them because when I first got into trading, I usually do long. But sometimes when you will get into some price action that there will be a false breakout. So I would think, why don't I just short at the false breakout? So I develop another skills, which is shorting the stock when there's a false breakout. So on November 12th, the $280 has grown to $500,000 in 5 months. Then I decided to end the challenge. The highest point was $517,000. But then December is holiday season, so there's not much opportunity. So there's right now a 10% pullback right now. And I'm currently taking a holiday break for myself till January and see if the market is up again. And my goal was to see how fast I could scale the small account in a short period of time. Since it had hit $500,000 in November and I'm taking a break right now, so I feels like that this is the right moment to wrap it up. And I honestly don't want to keep posting update about this forever. I've been documenting this small account challenge on YouTube, but I'm a bit behind on updates. The video I only post up to July so far. Yeah. So that's it for my small account challenge.
Nice. And I'll put the link to your channel below so anyone can watch the updates and the videos when they want.
So here are some tips for beginners. The first tips that I got is that when you start, you should pick one thing to focus on. It can be stock, option, crypto, or whatever. But once you choose one, just stick to it and go deep. I've seen so many people jumping around. They start with stock and then they see someone posting profit from option and they switch to that. The next week they see some crypto posts and they switch to that again. Honestly, this is the fastest way to fail. Every instrument has its own price action, logic, and rules. If you keep switching, you will never become good at any of them. And when you pick an instrument, you better choose a trading style and commit to it as well. So the key point is to choose one path and learn everything about it. If you don't stay long enough in one lane, you will never master it. And you actually don't need to learn everything to make money.
When you say go deep, what does that mean? How much did you study to get to the level that you are at?
I would say you need to spend every single day doing that specific things for around at least half a year. That's the very basic timing for trading, I think. I spent around half a year to become a break-even trader. So because you need to beat the commission rate, you need to develop your own strategy, you need to learn how to read level 2, read the chart, and you need to understand where is the support and resistance, candlestick pattern. So I would say if you trade every day and spend all the hours looking at the chart, I would say at least you need around at least half a year to be able to be a break-even trader. And that's what I did at that time.
Yeah, but you were working or you were not working. You were just all in every day, all day, looking at charts.
I was just all in at that time. The next tip is that for beginners, you can start with modeling after a successful trader. I don't mean copying trades, but I mean understand how they think and why their strategy works. If you can read books, go online, or find a mentor. It is very common for beginners to get lost or give up before they see any progress. With some direction, it helps you avoid quitting too early. And when I look back at my own journey, there were many tough moments. If I had decided to quit on any of those days, I wouldn't been where I am today. So looking at my whole path, if you ask me whether I would invest a bit more early on in a better tool, pay content, or anything that helps me learn faster, my answer is yes. Because day trading was life-changing to me, I don't want to mess it up. And once you know the basic and know the proven strategies, just practice as much as you can. After you keep adjusting and improving, you will naturally find what fits your personality. And over time, you will create your own system and your edge. For example, in my academy, there's a long strategy, short strategy, fast trades, and slow trades. But in the end, everyone choose the style they perform best in, and that become their main focus. Eventually, you build something that is truly yours, even if you start by taking inspiration from others. So right here is the last tip. I would say start with a small amount or use a demo account first. When you know nothing about the market, your first priority is to protect your wallet. So no rush. Don't think about getting rich fast. For example, if you can't consistently make money on a demo account, it's only gonna be harder when you use real money. And if you can't turn $1,000 into 2,000 in a non-gambling way, even though you put in $1 million in your account, you still can't turn it into 2 millions. The size or the starting balance doesn't fix the problem when you want to make money trading. Your skill does. I think my small account challenge is a good example of that. When your skills are ready, it really doesn't matter what number you start with. Even only $280 can become $500,000 in around 5 months. So I know this tip sounds very general, but a lot of beginners traders still can't follow them. When people get desperate to make money fast, trading can easily turn into gambling. And most of the time, people only learn this in the hard way by blowing up their first account. So yeah.
The specific strategy that you do requires a huge amount of discipline at all times.
Yeah.
How did you learn that discipline?
Again, I wake up and look at the chart and trade for the whole day in the beginning of my career. At that time, I start trading at 9:30 and I just keep trading until 4 p.m. It was kind of crazy to take that many trade in a single day, but I just want to learn faster. So I keep participating in every price action in any stock that is moving. So as my experience as there's more experience, emotion side is also getting better. I feel that my knowledge is getting more. I'm feeling comfortable looking at the chart and taking trade and reading the level 2 and tapes. And that's how I actually learn everything. So practice make perfect.
Yeah. In terms of your lifestyle, do you do anything like run, meditate? Do you not do anything like, do you drink alcohol? Anything like that to keep the discipline?
I do everything you just mentioned. So I would say, yeah, pretty much everything. I wouldn't say I can't do anything. Maybe I shouldn't breaks my left arm. I was playing volleyball and I breaks my pinky fingers, which kind of affect me like typing on the keyboard. So now I'm gonna talk about the United States Investing Championship that I joined in June. So some people might say that this competition isn't that big, but a YouTuber from Hong Kong won the first place last year, which brought a lot of attention to it in Hong Kong. And the media and influencer were talking about this. So it kind of became familiar within the Hong Kong trading community. So at first, I believed it was a legit competition too. But after going through it myself, I realized it wasn't. A lot of people, even some media, were misled by the name of this competition. And the truth behind it is really shocking. So I entered the competition in June with around $22,000 using the same account for my small account challenge. I was in the first place in June, July, and August, and everything was fine during those months. But in September, I did very well and broke the competition record. The record was 912% for the division that I was in, and my return reached 1700% by the end of that month. That was when he suddenly started questioning my result without giving any evidence. I was later removed from the standing with no official notice and no explanation about what rule I violated. From what I saw, the entire competition is run by one person, Norman Zeta. He reveals PDF statement on his own and decide everything based on that. I originally thought this competition would be a legit way to verify my small account challenge, but during our communication, the whole thing seems very unprofessional, and I'm not talking about other participants. I'm only talking about what happened to me. I talked to him for more than 2 months, almost 100 of emails back and forth trying to sort it out. But his explanation keep changing, and sometimes they even contradict themselves. One big example was when he suddenly said that only result from a specific broker would count, and my result is not accepted because I wasn't using that broker. But there's no such requirement in the written rules. According to the rules, anyone using any brokerage can participate. If being reported on the standing require using a specific broker, it should be written in the rules from day one. And my name appeared on the standing in June, July, and August without any issue. All the problems start only after I broke the record. So I explained to him that the broker he wants is fine, but it's not ideal for active day trader. The execution are slower, and there are fewer small cap short locate. So switching broker simply doesn't make any sense for my trading style. But he couldn't understand even after I tried to explain everything in detail to him. And to follow his request, I eventually moved my funds to another broker he wants and trade there for a period of time. And using the same strategy and the share size, I made around 80% returns in 2 weeks, even though the platform is not favorable for my trading style. And this clearly proved my consistency, but he ignored that as well. So when I asked him about where is the broker requirement in your rules, he just said that we cannot predict everything in advance. I reserve the right to make my decision. So honestly, that was the worst excuse I ever heard. Like, how can you forget to set a broker requirement in a competition that is open to everyone around the world and claims to verify trading result. So back to his verification method, participants are only required to submit PDF files, but I have provided every piece of evidence that could exist, full trade history, deposit and withdrawal record, monthly statement, live trading clips, and Kinfo verification, and even an official document from the broker confirming my profits are real. I also told him that I'm willing to do a CPA audit at any time, but he ignored all of that. To him, the only thing that matters was a PDF. And we all know that PDF files are editable. You don't even need AI, you don't need Photoshop. I can quickly show how easy it is to manipulate a PDF file. So here is a random PDF broker statement that I export from a broker. And you can just click edit and you can do whatever you want. You can edit your profit, edit your percentage. So if I want the first place right now, I can just put in whatever percentage I like. And boom, I just got the first place of the championship. And that's how he verified profit for this competition.
Yeah, you can explain more, but it sounds to me that like the United States Investing Championship, you performed too well, and then he didn't like it, so he banned you from the position for performing too well. It's crazy, no?
Yeah. And he doesn't have any evidence to prove my result. He's crazy.
So like he doesn't believe your performance. This guy doesn't think that it's possible. I don't understand.
In his email, he actually said he believes my gain, but he's under a lot of pressure to report my gain. But I think it's come with that he doesn't actually have a verification method, so he's in a lot of pressure. So I don't understand why he treats PDF file as the highest level of authenticity, which honestly doesn't make sense to me. So after I already gave him all the proofs, he couldn't find anything to question anymore. He started making up something to accuse me. He accused me for cheating as a market maker with zero evidence. And the broker and software that I use don't even have that kind of function. All my trades and clips are showing that I was only using normal retail limit orders. And that was when I realized he was just trying to find excuse. And it also shows that he doesn't understand how trading actually works. And you know what? Before he removed me, he even said that he didn't know what percentage he would use to report my result. I was up 1700% in the competition in September, but he said maybe he would use 600% that I achieved in August, or maybe much less if I don't do well from now on. I still can't believe how a competition can just manipulate participants' result like that. Why do we need to bargain about what number should be reported?
That's crazy.
At another point, his excuse was that he wants an investing competition and he didn't consider day trading as investing, but he never restrict trading style anywhere in his rules. And there are other day trader currently on his standing who are not using that broker either. That's double standard, and it made me feel that participant is like a cash cow for him as long as you are not breaking the record. And if he truly didn't want to include day trading, then why does the exact same day trading strategy suddenly become investing just because it's done on the broker that he prefers? So he keep contradicting himself and never publish consistent rules that apply to everyone. And here's the logic. So if my result were fake, how could I stay in first place for 3 months with zero issue? And that means that he doesn't have ability to verify the results. And if my results were real, then why was I removed from the competition? That still means that he has no ability to verify results. So no matter how you look at it, it just doesn't make sense at all. So as for right now in December, my gain was around 2000% in return and ranking number 1 in the competition. And now I'm removed. So after all this back and forth communication with him, I start to think that there's might be another reason behind why he was acting this way. So it almost $500 per person to enter, and even $1,000 for in other division. So there's hundreds of participants every year, and there's no prize money at all. So even if you win, so he's making millions of dollars from the entry fees, and adding more restriction to the rules mean there will be less entries. So removing me is the easiest way for him to continue his business without adding any rules for other participants. And since there's no prize money, the whole point of joining this competition and paying the entry fee is to have a fair and verified result. But it turns out he doesn't have any sort of ability to verify anything. And he told me that he is under a lot of pressure reporting my numbers. He said it was risking his whole business, which is worth millions of dollars. So the difference is very obvious compared to Kinfo. You guys have zero pressure reporting my numbers because your system just pull data directly from the broker, and I can't modify any of the numbers. But what you see on the screen, so what you can see on the screen is the truth. You don't need to feel uncomfortable about my numbers. A fact is a fact, right? That is why you can talk about my return with confidence, but he couldn't, because he doesn't have any real verification system. He just look at an editable PDF. So, which is very ironic because the whole purpose of his competition is to verify and report result. But he can't even tell what is real and what is fake. And right now he quietly removed me from the standing without any official document. And he said that he will give me a refund. But by the way, I didn't receive it right now. So the whole experience was like a scam to me. And this is so unfair because this is very misleading to my audience. People are asking me on social media, why am I removed it? And I need to explain to them. So thanks Kinfo for saving me from this and allow me to speak up today. So imagine if there's no such a platform like you guys, everyone might just assume I was cheating or I blow up the account, but that's not the truth. So my experience with this competition is extremely disappointing. It did teach me that what real verification should look like.
Yeah, but I mean, this is terrible because you paid that money to be verified.
Yeah.
You thought that it was credible. You paid that money only for that reason, and then
And I know I won the competition. The first phase right now is like 1,300%, and I'm almost 2,000%.
yeah, but it's not such a crazy difference either. It's not like someone's 1,300% and you're 20,000%. Like there's only 600 difference between the two of you. So how is the other guy not under pressure to be removed?
I think he is using the broker that
Yeah.
Norman likes, so he's still there.
Yeah, but it just
It's
sounds
not on
like,
the rules, right?
nah, it just sounds like you performed too well and other people got jealous and complained and you performed too well and broke the system, but
Yeah, I broke the competition, right?
you broke it with too much profits. But look, no, I mean that's what Kinfo is there for, because there's a leaderboard, but there's no profit or loss or monetary value to enter. It's just there to verify directly from the broker, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, without something like Kinfo, it's what do you do? Do you know what I mean? Because that's your reputation could be questioned.
Yeah. Because for you guys, my profit is all real. It's on the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just export from the broker.
Even now, we don't know what will happen next. You just have to see. So what are your thoughts on the industry verification? Tell me.
So right now, there's lots of mixed information on social media. There are fake profits. There's a screenshot or demo account everywhere. It's getting harder and harder to tell what's real or what's not, especially for those who don't know that much about trading. And this happened a lot on Chinese social media too. Some people post unverified profit screenshot and collect money to give financial advice. And at the end of the day, they might just blow up their account or just disappear. It's so irresponsible. And the reason this gray area exists is because their profit are not verified. So even a competition that sounds this legit turned out to be a scam, at least based on my experience. This is also kind of ironic that since the market is too messy, traders like us who provide tons of proof still get questioned as fake by some people, while some real scammer can just use a few fake screenshots to trick people and take their money. So I do think platforms like Kinfo are very useful. You guys raise the verification standard much higher and provide much more of transparency. And my message to everyone is that, especially if you are paying to learn, don't just believe a profit curve or some profit screenshot. Try to look at how those results are verified.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons Kinfo exists, because it's, I mean, 5 or 10 years ago, I think it used to be much worse. But if someone in the past had a big following, you just assume that they knew how to trade. If they posted screenshots and had a big following, must be a good trader. The world is wiser now because there's been so many scammers in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I would say like 80% of people like posting this kind of stuff might be a scammer at the end.
No, but the fact that you've managed to achieve $250 to $500,000 and it's all publicly verified is absolutely incredible. And then we saw some nice screenshots, some videos of how you've done it exactly as well today as well. But one of the main questions I get when someone says I've made $500,000 is, well, what is their account balance? Is it 10 million? Because if it's 10 million, it's very easy to make $500,000. But your return on investment's incredible.
Yeah, the percentage actually sounds pretty ridiculous.
It's in 5 months as well, right?
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever had anyone on Kinfo with that good a return on investment ever.
thank you.
Do you have an academy? Do you teach?
Yeah, I
Tell me about this.
I teach in Chinese, so it's a Chinese course because I don't have many English speaking audience right now. But if I got a lot, maybe I can teach in English in the futures. But English is not my first language, so yeah, maybe in the futures. Yeah.
But today went well. I think you did a good job. But no, it's unless you have any other any other hints or tips or final advice, I think you've provided more than enough value.
No, I think I'm good. I've talked about everything I want to cover today.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time on today. Sorry about your experience with the American investors. That sucks. But
We'll say
you get huge value. You give huge value. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing.
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.